Hey, what's up guys? John here. I think crypto is a place where we should be pumping the brakes or putting the brakes on this innovation until it's understood. This is from today's executive order from Joe Biden that was signed into law. A crypto becomes more integrated into our financial system. It creates vulnerabilities, not just to those who are investing in crypto, but for everyone who participates in our economy. Down below, history has shown that without adequate safeguards, forms of private money have the potential to pose risk to consumers and the financial system. If we look at the financial system, the way that they're running it, the US dollar died by over 20% just last year. Meanwhile, crypto, Bitcoin specifically, has increased 300% since December of 2020. 300%. Now Joe Biden and the Biden administration have big plans for crypto. They have big plans for anyone that wants to hold their wealth, any store of value, outside of the US dollar. What they are intending to do right now, and he's said it himself, is that inflation is going to continue to roar. So they're intending to essentially steal wealth from Americans and feed it into the agenda in which they want to build out for this new America. Now in this video, I'm gonna walk you through everything that they're intending to do step by step. So if you could, please hit that like button. YouTube's gonna share this content to educate more people. So let's begin. One of my favorite aspects of cryptocurrency is proof of work and custodial ownership. Those two items are the most important. Right now, we're losing that proof of work even in the US dollar because we're turning into a welfare society. And the ownership of it, they're stealing it through inflation. They're stealing it through taxation. They're stealing it through gas prices. They're building out all of these, these new increases to steal wealth from everybody, right? And that's what essentially is happening right now. And now they're pointing this finger at Americans. They're pointing them at people around the world, saying that they, and when I say they, I mean Russians, people in Moscow are evading sanctions because of cryptocurrency. And this is what I'm afraid of is going to be happening, is that they're going to be pushing this new digital dollar in front of us, and they're going to say, hey, if you need to get paid, if you need a universal basic income, if you need money, we can do so through a digital dollar. But if you're going to use a cryptocurrency project that that we do not have direct control over, we're going to view that as potentially evasion. Potentially you're doing something fraudulent. Or the new one is that we believe that it's very bad for the environment and that you are committing a crime potentially because mining one Bitcoin is equivalent to using 33,000 transactions through a credit card. 33,000 transactions is what they're saying. And so they're looking into all these things, but I think the main thing that they want to quote unquote solve here is they want to do a couple things. One is that they want to solve this problem that the government's losing control because people are looking for other areas in which they can store their money. And the government wants to be able to oversee these transactions so they have more control. They can use these things in their favor, in their benefit, to absorb the wealth so that they can grow and that you can shrink. And that's unfortunately where we're going right now is I think over the next year, the next 2 years, they're going to be building out all of these new problems for cryptocurrency so that a digital dollar, a digital currency, wherever you may live, is going to be the main winner, the main leader, so that they can just continue getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Some of the main areas of focus for this executive order: consumer and investor protection, financial stability, illicit activity, U.S. competitiveness on a global stage, financial inclusion, and responsible innovation. So what I find very interesting here is they say financial stability. When we look at the U.S. dollar, what they've done to the U.S. dollar over the last 10 or 20 years is sheerly incredible. They've destroyed the purchasing power and the confidence of the dollar over the last 10, 20 years, but especially the last 24 months. And so now they want to step in and they want to do the same thing to a digital currency, except with a digital currency, it will give them so much power to tax, to control. They could even, in China, for example, they're even trying new things to where there's an expiration date on the currency. So it would force people to invest in the economy and spend their money to stimulate the economy versus saving money, right? With the digital transaction, with a digital currency, it gives them unlimited freedom. So for them to say financial stability is laughable. Illicit activity, they've actually stated heavily that they think that potentially Russia, Moscow, is evading US sanctions with cryptocurrency. So they could even take a position stating that it's not safe for us to use digital currencies outside of ones that they deem from central banks, right? And they're going to come out of the woodworks with all of these new regulations and reasons why crypto is banned. US competitiveness on a global stage. Well, if we look at what's happening now in China and India, those countries are prospering, they're growing. Meanwhile, the US is contracting, and we're basically dying under what's happening right now, this new direction. Financial inclusion is also going to be very interesting too, because with a central bank digital currency, one that's issued from the US government, what are they going to do? They're going to include everyone. Everyone is going to be transacting in this dollar. They're pretending as though that they are now just doing research. We all know that they've probably been doing research for a couple decades on this, and they're only now just stating that they're doing research because they're getting ready to roll it out. Maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years. I know in the UK that they're intending to roll something out in late 2023. So this is happening very, very quickly. And they say responsible innovation. Well, who's to say what is responsible? That's up to them. So they would be the one to determine what they deem as responsible and what they deem as appropriate for us to have access to and for us to use on a day-to-day basis. These are some of the key points here. One key difference between the digital dollar and cryptocurrency is that the former will be subject to some regulation by central banks. So, for instance, the Federal Reserve could issue some monetary policy around issuance rates, address any inflation concerns, and more, which I find comical because if you look at their issuance rates on the dollar and what they've done with inflation, the last person and the last entity that should be looking to do really take control of another currency should be the people that already put us in this problem that we're in now. Senior Biden administration officials told reporters that there's already 100 countries that are looking into issuing their own centralized digital currencies. 100, right? There's over 200 countries in the world, so half the world is already looking into it. So they say, well, we know that they probably have already looked into it, and they're getting ready to issue it. I would bet that we're going to start to see them roll out more and more over the next 6 to 12 to 18 to 24 months. And this is going to happen. 100%, no doubt about it, this is going to happen. The big question that I ask you is, do you think that they are going to want to compete with Bitcoin? Do you think they're going to want to compete with a unregulated central or uncentralized currency to where people have the full power and the full control of it? Or do you think that they are going to do things to where they gain the upper hand? Do you think they're going to want to compete? I mean, who would you choose? If you had a little bar of gold or a dollar held by, a digital dollar held by the government, what would you rather have, right? That's what's going to be the big question, because some cryptocurrencies will be like a bar of gold for the short term, maybe the mid and long term, who knows? But I think ultimately long term, they're going to do everything that they can do to turn that bar of gold into something very undesirable so that they can then have the pure control, the real control over a currency that you need to buy, sell, trade, to do everything. We're stepping into a whole new world, and I do genuinely believe that they are going to do everything that they can do to control that world. What do you think? Drop it below. Let's have a conversation about it. Hit that like button. If you hit the like button, YouTube's going to share this content to educate more people. And subscribe here. Consider subbing on my second channel, my personal channel, and TikTok. I'm going to leave the links down below, top comment. Catch you guys later. If you've enjoyed this video and want to get advice from me directly, then click the link below this video and schedule a one-on-one Zoom call with me. Starting out as a brand new YouTuber or investing in your first real estate deal can be a very daunting endeavor, which is completely understandable. You're about to invest a big chunk of your time or your money into a project, and so many things can go wrong. I know from personal experience that nothing can be more frustrating than having made the investment and put in all of the effort only to find yourself standing in front of a wall. Many have failed and gave up on their goals because they've reached this point. If you find yourself standing in front of this wall, not knowing what the next step is, then a one-on-one call with someone who has put in the effort will be the exact thing that you need. See, I've went through the doubts. I've went through this sleepless nights and I went through the challenges and know the exact step that you need to take. To schedule a call with me, click the link in the description below this video and reserve your spot. I look forward to talking with you.